So we call this, or Manfred Spitzer also wrote a book and termed this digital dementia. Digital dementia is a term coined by Manfred Spitzer in 2012. I can't find the book translated into English yet. It's written in German. It's a term to describe how overuse of digital technology is resulting in the breakdown of cognitive abilities in a way that is more commonly seen in people who have suffered a head injury or a psychiatric illness. So like a concussion, or we're also seeing kids showing up with ADHD-like symptoms. So now we have a more complex thing going on here. Because does the child who gets diagnosed with ADHD really have ADHD, or do they have a problem because of overuse of technology? Just last week, one of our patients called me and said, my daughter was just diagnosed with ADHD. Her daughter is a senior in high school. She's been a patient in our office for about 6 years. She had a very bad 11th grade year. 11th grade is like the most important year to get good grades. That's where your transcripts are going to go to college. And that's the year that they're going to look at. Really bad year, but her parents got separated and they're getting divorced. So there was probably a lot of stress on her. She scored 1,000 on her SATs the first time, 1,050 the second time. So our parents got her tested. Same results as my daughter in 2nd grade. They said, put her on some medication. It came out that she had mild ADHD. I went through all of the testing. There's not much going on there. But Dad knows that if she gets that medication, she's going to just score really high in her SAT. Does that make sense? Absolutely not. So parents think that those medications are going to be the answer to all the problems of the child. They might be hopeful that they will. And there were times with our daughter where I said, you know what, maybe we should just try it. Because maybe the behavior problems will go away. You know, maybe the neuropsychologist in 2nd grade was right. And fortunately, I had a level-headed husband who always said, no, we're not doing that. So too much technology causes sensory imbalance. These kids, when you're looking at your phone, it's stimulating the auditory and the visual parts of the brain, and it's understimulating the vestibular, proprioceptive, and tactile systems. So these children show up with what we call sympathetic or sensory overload. Their cortisol levels, their adrenaline levels go up really, really high. They can't distinguish reality from fantasy when they're playing. If they play games, like video games, like those violent games, we saw that little boy playing with his dad, that also keeps their cortisol levels really, really high, and they're in a state of sympathetic overdrive. All the time. They're always looking for the fight or the flight. What does chronic stress do to us in the long term? Chronic stress is going to break down the systems. We're going to end up with disease. So, talking about reality or not, here's a cat on an iPad thinking he's going to catch a fish. So they can't even distinguish. What about TV shows? When I was growing up, the TV shows that I saw or the cartoons, they were fantasy. They were, you could tell the difference between reality and now our shows, our TV shows even, are much more realistic and violent. So if we overuse digital technology, it can result in a breakdown of cognitive abilities as traditionally seen in people with head injury or Alzheimer's disease, ADHD, autism, coordination disorders, developmental delays, learning difficulties, sensory processing disorder, anxiety, depression, and sleep disorders. Flexor dominant posture makes them angry, lack empathy, they have no motivation, they lack coordination, and a higher level of cognitive skills that make them human are diminished. So these children, if this is the cause of their behavior, it's reversible. If the main symptoms that we're going to see with digital dementia are short-term memory problems, shortened attention spans, and emotional flattening. This is the one that gets me most. 25% of children today are being diagnosed with anxiety. And they're being diagnosed with anxiety not when they're 12, 13. They're being diagnosed with anxiety younger and younger and younger. So not only do we have to deal with attention medication, we're now giving these young children as early as age 3, SSRIs, antidepressants. When you are placed, or an adult's placed on an antidepressant, most often, do we ever see anybody come off of those drugs? I know somebody who was on those drugs for 20 years and decided, and got osteoporosis. And he decided, and it was a side effect of the drug. And he decided that he was going to stop taking his antidepressant medication. And he fell so deep into clinical psychotic depression, he couldn't get himself out of bed. They couldn't find a replacement drug, so he had to go back on that same detrimental drug that's drawing all the calcium out of his bones. It's really sad. So we take a 3-year-old child and put them on this medication. What are they going to look like at age 20?